but
Right.
Yeah.
Paul,
But
can you hear us?
that would be fun.
yes, I would
Am
agree.
I on?
Paul, are you here, buddy?
I'm here.
Yeah. I got up on the screen. Shopiere Days, June 24th. What's going on, Paul? Talk to us about it. You got Badger State on Saturday, and I know you have PI on Friday night. What else do you have on Friday night, bud?
So Friday night we have South Central Wisconsin Stretch Bowlers, PI Motorsports Super Farm, and Badger Trucks Friday night.
Gotcha.
And then Saturday night, I believe in the Badger lineup, we have Light Limited Boys, Hot Farms, Super Farms, and the Pro Stock Trucks.
Good stuff. And you've never had a Badger State show in Shopiere before, have you?
No, we never have.
Okay.
Kind of been something we've been working towards over the course of the years, getting the grounds, getting enough room to make this happen and getting the track. I think we all kind of decided that we wanted to make sure that we had a track that was going to be something to be proud of if the boys came down. So
Understood. What would be, for Badger State fans in Wisconsin, and for those of you in Northern Illinois and Wisconsin, you understand how strong Badger State is. Roos knows for sure, and Charles has seen him, and Cody's seen him at Gordyville, stuff like that. I'm always going to call it Gordyville, Charles. Sorry. I know it's the Midwest Winter Nationals, but it's always going to be Gordyville to me. What would you say is the closest Badger State poll that maybe fans have seen before?
closest to here?
Yeah.
I would say most people that are going to go to a Badger State hook from our area are going to go to Jefferson, Helenville. Last year, or I think his last year or two, I think has been Edgerton.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people local are really happy that they don't have to travel real far to see a Badger State show, and it's a free show. That's just one thing we've always been. It's hard to accomplish a free show, but it's pretty neat when you don't have to charge admission, and anybody and everybody is more than welcome. So,
do you guys take donations, Paul, or is it just legit, just free?
Well, we do take donations. There's some people that donate. We do corporate sponsors. We kind of took a little bit of a feather out of Clint's hat. A buddy of mine that's not too far away from me, actually working on the track right now, he kind of came up with the idea of selling some track booths. So for Friday night and Saturday night, we have a band out here, a good band, and we're actually selling part of the basically 150 to 300 foot lineup to have a booth for the whole weekend for Friday night and Saturday night. Plus you have the band right in front of you. So we're taking a little bit out of Clint's page there. But it's helped a ton. So
your VIP seating areas, that's what you're referring to for people that haven't been to the Midwest Winter Nationals, the chair seating right next to the track. What's a fancy word for that, Charles? I think VIP probably, or
The box seating.
Box seating.
Yes. And I tell you what, there's more people that are excited about that than I would have ever thought. To have a place to call their own for the whole weekend, to be in a good spot in the track, be able to leave their stuff there. And that was kind of the same for me when the first time I went to Gordyville, was have a place that you call your own. That you can leave your coat there, your sweatshirt there, go back, leave your beer there. It'll be be there when you come back. So
you hope
not fight over
your
bleacher
beer's
spot.
there.
Yeah.
For those of you that may not know Paul Luety, if you guys remember when we named that John Deere Super Farm tractor 2 years ago now on our show, Tripp and Josh and Paul are all in on the homegrown Super Farm together, and it was actually named homegrown that night on the show, and then they took it down to the Midwest Winter Nationals, I think, that following week. I think we named it on Monday night, and they took it to Shipshewana that following weekend then. So that's the Paul Luety that we're talking to. Shopiere is super easy to get to, right off interstate, basically, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. I think as a crow flies, we're probably not much more than 2 miles off I-90. Pretty easy to get to. We got a lot of parking. It's a great little place. It's taken us quite a while to kind of build up the festival to be able to do the tractor pulls that we have now. But we work with a lot of great people, great township around here that allows us to do it. So, and a track that a track that's been here for a very, very long time. This thing had the stone boats going down it back in the 70s. So
like Jimmy Lukey type stuff, or
Jimmy's been here before, but the stone boat where if you didn't like your neighbor, you stood on the boat a little sooner than everybody else. You
No,
sat
that
on the sideline drinking a beer and jumped on a little quicker. Yeah.
Come on, Paul. That's not how that works.
So this track's been here a long time, and we've worked a lot. We've worked a lot of years to try to improve, to where we finally have an announcer's tower that towers above everything else, and we have a big, wide, long track, good dirt. So it's taken a while to get there, but we're finally to that point.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. If anybody got any questions for Paul, please type them into the comments. Cody, Charles, Roos, if you guys have anything, let me know.
And Jason, I guess one thing that how I got involved with this whole thing too.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old, and a friend of ours that just passed away was in charge of the tractor pull, and I came up here wanting to give him a hand at 16.
Wow.
And I've been involved with it. I'm 37. I've been involved with it for 20 years.
Man, is anybody else still been around that long with you?
Yes. There's people that have been around through the whole thing. But at that point in time, we only did a spectator truck and tractor pull on Saturday afternoon for about 4 or 5 hours. It was probably one of the notorious brush pulls that there wasn't rules. There wasn't much of anything. There wasn't much for track maintenance back then. So we've come a long ways from those days, but
well, that's all right.
But I kind of roll my eyes every now and then when I think I've been involved with for 20 years, and I'm 37 going, oh boy, I've been involved this longer than I probably ever thought I would be. So
it's amazing how fast it goes. Charles, before we went live tonight, said, I can't believe we're 5 weeks into the season. Is that what you said, Charles?
Yeah, I'm 5 weeks into my outdoor season already.
Awesome. Yeah. Bruce, I'd like you to ask Paul Luety your questions, buddy.
All right, Paul. So
are these tough ones, Ryan?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Yeah, there's no math involved, Paul. You don't have to.
No. Okay. All right. I don't got to get a calculator out.
Yeah.
No, but I want to know how you guys make a show that's free. I mean, I know a little bit about what organizations charge for a show, and it ain't cheap. And it's not like, money just grows on trees unless you grow apples. But how do you do that? I mean, how do you get the community involved in it like that?
So I probably can't personally speak of how the festival was back when I was a kid. Through the 80s, 90s, I don't remember enough through those days to actually give you the true history of it. Mm-hmm. But when I got involved, I remember that everybody told me we're not charging admission. That's not the way this has always been. This is a community festival. It's free for everybody. That's the way they want it to be, which makes it very challenging if you want to expand and do anything.
Yep.
So we rely very heavily on sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors that are every year through and through awesome, and they have the same idea, same view. They love that it's a community event. It's free for everybody. I think this year we sold probably close to $20,000 worth of basically a VIP booth along the side of the track, $15,000 to $20,000. That stuff like that helps a lot. But it is challenging. And we have our event is 3 days long. Tractor pull Friday night, tractor pull Saturday night. We have a big fireworks session that we do Sunday night. There's a carnival all weekend, parade on Sunday. But I will say that the volunteers that we have are awesome. We have a ton of people that are all from the community or surrounding areas that do a ton of work for it. None of us really know why we do it. It's just kind of like once you get involved, you get hooked and you can't really leave, or nobody lets you leave, maybe. But It is a challenge. There's a lot of us that would love to be able to charge a $15 or $20, $25 admission to come in to watch a Badger State show, but it just kind of been bred into us that we can't do that. It's supposed to be a weekend to celebrate the 4th of July and our independence, and we gotta do what we can to make it a free event for everybody.
So how many of those VIP spots do you still have left?
Well, it's funny. I had one person last night that told me they wanted a booth, and I told them, well, it's too late to get a banner made. How we do our booths, you get a banner and whatnot. Oh, I don't care about the banner. I just want to support you guys. So they don't even care about their banner. They just want a spot on the track and to write us a check. And that was less than a week before the event. So
do we have any spots left? If somebody here is listening and says, I got 7 people who would be seen in public with me.
Yep, I'll make them a spot. I can't guarantee them all the benefits that everybody else had that started 2 months ago, but I will make them a spot if somebody's willing.
And how do they reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you?
So we have our Facebook page, and then we're a little in transition. We got a website that just came online here, I think last week. And I wish I could share that with you, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. I'm happy that I could even get tech savvy enough to get on the live feed with you guys tonight. So
we're very proud of you.
Yeah.
Baby steps, Paul. Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps.
Well, good deal.
And then the last question I've got for you. You can take anything pulling. You don't have to pay for it if you wreck it. What are you going to take, and where are you going? And why?
Boy, that's a tough question, because there's so many things that I would love to drive. I feel like the general public is always going to go to Pro Stock World, and I love that. It's great. I would love to sit in the seat of one day. I like a driving class myself too. So that's a hard question for me.
Does anybody else feel like he's stalling?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna say light pro. That's my gut when he said driving class.
Yeah, well, that's my. I guess I've never really thought of that question, Jason. Like, I like a driving class, and not saying anything that, against the Pro Stock's not a driving class, but I feel like everybody's first opinion is like, oh, I want to drive Pro Stock. That's just everybody's gut go to. But I would say probably if I had to drive anything anywhere, if someday we could put our tractor in the Broadbent Arena at Louisville, I don't want to go every year, but go 1 year. I guess I don't care what I drive, but if someday we can be in Broadbent, that would be an accomplishment. Don't have to go every year. Don't have to be a repeat, but just at least a one time. I know everybody's talked about that feeling of being down there, going through the tunnel. That would be a neat thing to me.
Absolutely.
When you get to something like that, like Clint's event down there, I pulled down there the first time this year. Ended up sitting pretty good. Lady Luck had it my way, but that to me was a huge accomplishment to go down to Winter Nationals, and I didn't realize that I had to go stand on the podium if I got third place, and I was kind of like, oh shit, what do I do now? I don't have a hat.
For the top 3, buddy. So
what's that?
That's what a podium is. It's for the top 3. So it's all
I know, but I didn't think of that, and I'm like, oh hey, I ended up in the top 3. Oh hey, I have to come over and talk on the podium. Oh.
Charles, did you interview Paul or did Leroy?
I don't remember at this point. It becomes a blur.
Well, Super Farm Shane was probably all over that.
Could have been.
Oh yeah, he was. If I had a couple of beers in me beforehand, you might not got me off the mic, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. So
gotta slam them quick. Well, cool. Well, Paul, thanks for jumping on the Badger State show earlier, and thanks for jumping on Let's Grow Pulling Live. Thanks for trusting us to promote your event on social media, and good luck this week, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks,
Bye.
Paul.